Do any more questions of Hugh?
Simon,
Simon, you're on.
What?
you have a question to ask me?
No.
No?
Yes, I think that's the right answer.
Oh, okay. Jeff?
What was your goal with writing this book?
It was very, it was, I was afraid that the stories would be lost. You know, they were in a wide range of, they've all been previously published in magazines or anthologies, and from 1990 to 2007. And most of them have gotten good reviews. Some have been nominated for awards, and but you couldn't find them half the time. They're out of print or whatever. And I wanted to collect them together. I did have a different device. I actually originally wanted to weave them together with another story I wrote, which is an ebook collection called The Progressive Apparatus, where it's a living software comes and lives, it stays at your house and watches everything you write and makes sure it's correct. These stories were, I think it was on radio. It was actually on stage. That one did quite well. It was a two-act play, and the Twilight Zone. The stories were all linked as things that the apparatus had destroyed. You know, but I just couldn't get any interest in that sort of format. So when Extreme Dentistry came out, I wanted to keep the relationship with Brainlag Publishing going, and so I said, well, you know, this would be easier in theory. It wasn't, but in theory to because these things had already been edited and sort of copy edited. So we assembled them and collected them. So people, if they need a dose of Hugh Spencer stories, they can go to one place and find them. And Flying Saucers was the title story because it's probably still my first published story, my best known story. But there you go. We could have called it Pornzilla, but then we would have had a lot of problems.
No, I don't think you would have.
I think you wouldn't have had the audience that you wanted if you used that.
This isn't porn. What the?
It's a little bit of porn in
Yeah,
Pornzilla.
but by then you got the $20. So
Yeah, initially you would have had great sales, but it wouldn't have been the audience you wanted.
And they might come around to my house and hurt me.
No, they're busy.
And tired. They're really tired.
Their wrists hurt.
Oh dear. Well, that was it. In some ways, what was scary was how much there's sort of a heritage aspect to some of the stories, because some things have become a little dated, you know, and in Pornzilla too. I mean, it's when I wrote that, that was an interesting one, because the story was, I was sitting next to the guy who played Agent Krychek in the X-Files. I got upgraded to Air Canada, and I was working on this short story, and he was reading. He'd just been killed in the X-Files. He finally got killed. So the first.
Alluding to it in the show, they finally do it.
Yeah. Well, Mulder shoots him right through the head, as I recall, in a parking lot, and he's pretty much dead. So when I saw him, I sat down and I said, "Hey, you look a lot better the last time I saw you." He said, "Yeah, I took a big fall in that show." Nice guy, very nice guy. And so he was reading NYPD Blues,
yeah.
you know, and he was going up to look at his boat from LA, and he lived in Vancouver. So but a nice fellow. He liked museums, so we talked for a bit. But that had a great story behind it. But that was late '90s, and that was really far out. That story was outrageous, but a lot of what I've talked about in augmented reality and software that digitally changes text and things, regardless if you want it or not, is quite commonplace now. So, you know, and that's another reason to get the book out before it becomes obsolete. Everything.
That's right. Let's get a book out before it becomes obsolete.
I still think books are the best. I love books. I mean, I like ebooks. I know, but they're nice when but
Not the same.
because I didn't want to print up 250 pages, I read it as an ebook.
how's it scanned?
I wanted it.
Well, we'll get you one. I'll get you one. That's your.
That's my present.
That's your present for doing this
That's
hard
your
work.
payment.
Yeah, that's your payment. Okay, folks.
Okay,
Well,
guys.
thank you.
Thank you.
That was awesome.
There you go.
Should we get some lunch?